gentlemen, well. Welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watt2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. It is Thursday as I'm recording this, and it is time to make our confidence picks for Week 11 in the NFL. 10 weeks down, and I guess that means 8 to go. So what we do every week, we look at the NFL schedule, and we don't pick against the spread. We pick winners. And then we assign a confidence rating. 15 games on the schedule this week. So 15 points, the game we have the most confidence in. We use every number only once. Down to 1 point, the game we've got the least confidence in. So before we get into this week's slate of games, let's see how we're doing for the season. Another tough week. Above 500, but still went 8-6, 65 points. This was the first time that my top game, the game I had the most confidence in, the number 14, bit me. I did not get it right. For the season, I'm at 88 up and 60 down. 817 points, took a little bit of a drop, 85.4% overall among all players on ESPN. Got to get a jump back up this week. All right, so we got two teams on bye. We've got Indianapolis and New Orleans, who will get the week off. Let's start with number 15. What game do I have the most confidence in? It breaks my heart, but I got to go with Thursday night, the New York Jets at the New England Patriots. I'm taking New England. You know, it's nice that the Jets won 2 straight games against the state of Ohio. I wish the Patriots could move to Dayton or Toledo or Lima for that game. But the Pats are too balanced. They run well. They throw well. They stop the run incredibly well. They've thrived all year against the cupcake schedule, and that's going to continue here. I can't trust Justin Fields against any defense that's in the top 25 of 32 NFL teams, and I really can't trust Tyrod Taylor either, especially with no Garrett Wilson in the lineup. And I love Breece Hall, but Mike Vrabel will find a way to take him out of the game or at least slow him down. And if Breece Hall is compromised, where's the offense coming from the Jets? And then the Jets defense. They've taken the ball away once all year. I just have no confidence that they're going to pull this off. I hope the game will be close, but I'm going with the Patriots' best bet. Number 14, the Dallas Cowboys at the Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football. You've got two teams with huge national fan bases and lousy defenses. Okay, but the Cowboys do have a top 5 offense, whereas the Raiders are 31st in scoring, 30th in yards. The Raiders' defense cannot contain the Dallas offense. It's going to be Dak to CD and Pickens and Ferguson all day or all night. Give me Dallas with my number 14. Number 13, AFC North showdown. The Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. Well, the Browns going against a Ravens team that is just starting to fly and now firmly believes they will come back and win this AFC North division. Lamar Jackson is back under center despite a sore knee. I do think the Browns defense can keep it close, maybe keep it a 1-score game. But can I have confidence that Dylan Gabriel is going to find a way to beat Baltimore? At the end of the day, I just can't do it. Give me Baltimore with my number 13. Number 12, we're going to go to Spain. For the first time ever, the NFL is playing a game in Spain. Next might be Moscow or Riyadh or Shanghai, the moon. Who knows? I don't know. But we're going to go with the Washington Commandskins against the Miami Dolphins. I'm taking Miami. You know what? I think I'm going to pass on watching this game. I think I'll go to church instead. But Washington, who already has a bad defense, they've given up the second most passing yards per game, the third most total yards per game, the fourth most points per game. Now are not going to have Darren Payne on their defensive line due to throwing a punch in that last game against Detroit. It makes a bad Washington defense even worse. For Miami, Devon Achane has suddenly become a stud at running back. Plus, Washington doesn't have Jane Daniels, Terry McLaurin again. I'm taking the Dolphins to win in the great country of Spain. Number 11, the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego, California at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm taking the Chargers on the road. I think the Jaguars' fall is underway. That inexcusable collapse against Houston last week was too much. I don't think they're going to truly recover from that. The Jacksonville defense looks incredibly shaky. They've allowed the third most points per game and second most touchdown passes per game of any team since week 7. Justin Herbert, have fun. And the Chargers look very impressive in beating Pittsburgh. I'm taking the Chargers with my number 11. Let's go to number 10, the Green Bay Packers at the New York Giants. I'm taking the Packers. I just don't believe in coaching change bumps. You know, you fire this coach, you bring in a new one, and somehow that's going to resurrect the team and get them going again. I don't think it works all that often. And Jameis Winston comes into the picture to start at quarterback for the G-Men, and he's already singing show tunes in the locker room. Great. But what he is when he gets on the field is a huge risk or reward quarterback. He will throw touchdowns, but he will throw interceptions. Now, the Packers are about as underachieving team that I've seen all year, but it's time to feed Josh Jacobs against one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. Over the last 4 weeks, the Giants are allowing 187 yards per game on the ground. 187. This is a get-right spot for Green Bay. Number 9, the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. There was a part of me that wanted to take Tennessee, just one of those games that makes no sense. I just can't find a route where they're going to win. Now, Houston had a win last week. They never should have had against Jacksonville, but their defense is one of the best the NFL has to offer. And I was thinking maybe this is a letdown spot. Going to Nashville to face the worst team in the NFL who just had an extra week to prepare. They're coming off their bye week. CJ Stroud's still out for this game. Davis Mills playing. Well, it worked last week. Houston's 1-3 on the road. That also gives me a little bit of pause. But the most distinctive thing, the biggest difference I can see in this game is that Tennessee offensive line trying to stop the Houston defense. I don't think they can do it. When you combine Anderson, Hunter, everybody else rushing Cam Ward, I think his Sunday afternoon is going to be miserable. Give me the Texans. Number 8, the San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals. Tough one to read. Both teams suffered bad losses last weekend. Both defenses gave up over 40 points. Give Jacoby Brissett some credit. He's brought some stability to that quarterback position for the Cardinals, but he has no Marvin Harrison this week. He's got appendicitis. Now, the funny thing with the Niners, they haven't won or lost consecutive games since opening the season with a 3-0 record. So they're coming off a loss against the Rams, which means they should be ready to go for the Cardinals, and they're going to win the game. So, and we know Niners fans travel too, so you can throw the home thing right out the window. Number 7, man, after the games get pretty tough. There's a lot of close games. Number 7, the Bengals at the Steelers. I'm torn. I'm taking the Steelers, though. The Bengals have lost 6 of their past 7. The one win in that span came against Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers was terrible against the Chargers. I don't think he's going to be terrible against this Mickey Mouse excuse for a defense that's on pace to allow the most points in a single season in the history of the NFL. He'll eat them up like a Primanti sandwich. But through 10 weeks, we got to call out the Steelers defense. They've given up the most passing yards per game in the NFL, almost 270 per game. Now, Joe Flacco's got an extra week of rest to help his shoulder heal. I think he'll be ready to roll. I'll take Pittsburgh only because I've got a little more confidence in their defense than I do Cincinnati's. I think Pittsburgh is still going to play with a little bit of effort, like they've got heads screwed on their shoulders correctly. So I'll take Pittsburgh, though I feel a little dirty about it. Number 6, the Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. Another divisional matchup. We got quite a few division matchups this week, and some really competitive ones too. The Bears are hot, winning 6 of 7. That late rally against the Giants was just crazy. But Minnesota has won 8 of the 9 matchups, the last 9 matchups they've had against the Bears. And when I look at the Bears, yes, they're winning games, but they look to me like a team that's just good enough to get into the wild card round and get beaten down by a true contender, by a Detroit or by a Philadelphia, that kind of a team. Minnesota's in last in the North, but they're still dangerous. And I think Brian Flores' schemes and blitzes will mess with Caleb Williams. Bears still a little bit too vulnerable on defense. I'm taking Minnesota at home. Number 5, let's go from the NFC North to the NFC South. The Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons have to have the previous meeting between these two teams on their mind. Last time out, week 3, Panthers throttled the Falcons 30-0. And week to week, these are just two teams you have to struggle to figure out. It's like the old country song says, 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Nobody gets too far like that. But the Falcons are very good against the pass. I think they're going to force Bryce Young into some mistakes. I think they can cover the Carolina receivers well. And let's see if the Falcons are smart enough to ride Bijan Robinson. Over the last 3 weeks, Carolina's allowed an average of 157 rushing yards per game. If the Falcons play like they're capable, they win. Number 4, the Buccaneers at the Bills. Okay, 2 teams coming off terrible losses, more so the Bills. That was the team that I put my number 14 point bet on, and I lost. So thank you, Buffalo. Appreciate it. But I'm going to ride with the Bills again. You know, the Bucs are 0-2 this season when they give up 125 yards or more on the ground. But when they hold their opponent under 125, they're 6-1. Well, the Bills have James Cook, who's the second leading rusher in the NFL. He's already got 920 yards. But if they focus on Cook, well, you got a quarterback there named Josh Allen, who's pretty capable of running the football. He has 311 rushing yards this season, fourth most of any quarterback. I know the Bills' defense has been terrible as of late. It's just hard to trust a Florida team playing on the road in Buffalo in November. Since 2023 began, the Bills are 9-0 when playing a home game at 1 p.m. That includes the playoffs. I'm going to take the Bills. Number 3. Oh, man. We got so many marquee games. This is going to be awesome. Chiefs at the Broncos. How good is this game going to be? I would really consider going against the Chiefs. After all, the Broncos, they just got some sort of weird magic going on. Strange magic, as the LO might say. But they've won several inexplicable games already. They think this is their division now, and I think they believe they're a better team at this point. I know the Broncos have 8 wins. I give them credit, but remember, we talk about New England playing a week's schedule. The Broncos are not that much different. The combined record of the teams that the Broncos have beaten is 23, 48, and 1. Of the teams they've beaten, only one is above 500, that being the Philadelphia Eagles. And Bo Nix, hey, he's shown some moments of resolve that he can find ways to win games. Patrick Mahomes has made a career out of finding ways to win games. The Chiefs just always seem to win these kinds of games late, and this is about the time when they start their run that gets them to the Super Bowl. Oh, and by the way, Andy Reid coach teams are 22-4 after a bye week. Give me the Chiefs. Number 2, the Seahawks at the Rams. My gosh, this is a must-watch game. I wish this game could have been flexed. I know it's too early in the season, but I wish this game could be flexed and nationally televised. It's going to be that good. Now, these are not traditionally the fiercest NFC West rivals, but that's about to change. Matthew Stafford, in my mind, he's the MVP of the league. In 3 straight games, he's thrown 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. That has never happened in the history of the NFL. On the other side, you've got Sam Darnold. He's on a tear. Over the last 2 weeks, he has 5 touchdowns and just 5 incompletions. JSN leads the NFL in receiving yards. But the thing is, the Rams have been great against Darnold, including the playoffs. He went 14-4 for Minnesota. It breaks down this way. He went 0-2 against the Rams and 14-2 against everyone else. They sacked Darnold 12 times in those 2 losses. And here's the other thing. Matthew Stafford, when he faces a defense that is coached by Mike McDonald, he thrives. In 2023, Stafford threw for almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, while McDonald was the DC for Baltimore. Last year, Stafford played 1 game against Seattle when McDonald was the coach. He threw for 298 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm taking the Rams. And finally, number 1, the game I got the least confidence in, and really any of these last 4 or 5 games, they're toss-ups. I'm going to say the Philadelphia Eagles at home against the Detroit Lions on Sunday Night Football. I'm taking Philly. You know, the Eagles just keep getting these primetime home games. They've had trouble scoring. The Lions rolled up big numbers last week. I know that. But I'm worried that they're going to be without Terry and Arnold and Kirby Joseph in that secondary. Arnold suffered a concussion last week. Joseph has missed the last 3 games with a knee injury. So if they're both out, the constant malcontent named A.J. Brown, as well as Devontae Smith, should feast on that Lions pass defense. They've allowed 18 touchdowns in 9 games. I think it'll be super close. I just don't know if the Lions have that same mojo that they've had over the last couple of years, the last few years or so. So maybe it's a little bit crazy, but I'm going to go with the Eagles here. All right, those are my picks for Week 11. If you'd like to throw your picks down in there, just put them right down there in the comments. Everybody, enjoy the weekend of football. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.